Well, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Brew. I'm Larry Aarons. Our first guest today, well, you know, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You're seeing pink everywhere, and for good reason. Our first guest is Dana Aragon. Dana is with the, I always have to read this, the American Society of Radiologic Technologists.
That's correct.
That's the national professional organization for radiologists and people that are involved in that field of healthcare.
Actually, a radiologist is a physician.
Yes.
So we represent the radiologic technologists, medical imaging and radiation therapy professionals that perform examinations and do radiation therapy treatment. We have about 152,000 members.
Wow.
So it's a very large organization, the
is.
world's oldest and the world's largest medical imaging association.
Yeah, and this is the national headquarters is here.
It is. It is. It's
Wow.
amazing to be able to be here in Albuquerque, be able to enjoy the balloon fiesta,
Sure.
the perfect weather.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really fortunate to be able to have this organization here, and I feel fortunate to be able to work for them as
And
well.
you've been with them for a while now?
I've been with them for 11 years.
Good.
Yes.
And your career, you're a mammographer and a radiologic technician.
Radiologic technologist, yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. So I am a radiologic technologist, first of all. So I have a certification from a national organization that accredits technologists called the American Registry of Radiologic Technologists. I have that certification and then also a mammography certification as well.
Okay, so you've got all these wonderful credentials, and then on top of that, you are a breast cancer survivor yourself.
I am. I have a very probably different perspective on what
would
mammography
say.
and breast cancer, means to me as a professional and also personally.
So from a professional standpoint, as you guys are working in this Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and obviously your messages are to the people that are the professionals in the business. Are they seeing more people? Is the awareness thing working? Are more people coming in and getting examined and getting mammography and all that?
I think that the awareness is working because it's hard not to notice all of the different awareness and advocacy campaigns that are available. But I think also what's happening as well is sometimes things work against us as well because there can be false information that comes out, especially when different reports are coming out about the age that people should be getting mammograms, and that tends to confuse the messaging. So hopefully people are understanding that they should be going to get a yearly screening mammogram beginning at age 40. That's what the American Cancer Society recommends, and the ASRT also supports that recommendation.
Forgive me, but you don't strike me as old enough to have had an experience with breast cancer.
Yes. I am skewing on the younger side. So yes. So I was 44 at diagnosis. I am on my second year out from my diagnosis.
Wow.
So everything has been great. I'm getting towards my third year. And the 5-year mark is the mark that we really look at towards statistically to see that what the survival rate is.
So, talk about the technology a little more.
Okay.
It's improved.
Yes.
Mammograms are much better now than they were even 10 years ago. Right?
Absolutely. So what's happened in mammography is when they first started doing mammography back in the early 70s and 1980s, they really didn't have specialized equipment that they were using specifically for mammograms. So they would just have you come in and lay on a regular patient table and try to use the same equipment that they would use to do imaging of your spine or your chest or something else. So as time went on, they started making advancements in mammography, and the first kind of mammography that really was an advancement was film screen mammography. So that used an actual piece of film that went inside a cassette, and the x-rays traveled through the breast and made the image there.
I see.
So the next version, or the newer improvement, is digital imaging. So with digital imaging, there isn't any film. So what we have now is the patient stands in front of the machine. And I think we had some images that people can see as well. So the patient, here you can see this image. There's the technologist. She's standing behind the screen, and she's getting ready to do the image. So what you're seeing here is a patient in the patient gown. Her head is turned away, so her head isn't in the way of the image. The diagnostic part of the machine is at the top. So the x-rays are coming down through the breast and hitting that imaging receptor and going through the digital imaging process. So now the images are digital. So you can see a representation of a digital image here.
Right then and there. Now, is there still a lot of discomfort with a mammogram process?
It depends. So what we recommend is, and I've got some tips for people
Yeah.
about scheduling mammography.
Because I know women
Yes.
complain about that.
Sometimes they do, and I'll tell you some good tips that you can use
Sure.
when you're scheduling. So when you schedule your mammogram, you want to make sure that you're scheduling at least a week after your menstrual period. And the
Okay.
reason why is because breasts are very sensitive to hormones, and as women have their menstrual period, they can have a little bit more pain there. So you don't want to schedule your mammogram during the time when you're having your menstrual period.
see.
So make sure you stay away from that area. You'll also want to tell the facility if you've had any kind of breast surgeries. So if you've had any augmentations on your breast, or if you've had any previous breast cancers, you'll want to make sure and tell them that as well.
Okay.
Also, if you need to transfer your previous images, you'll need to contact your previous facility and see if you can get those images transferred over. The radiologist, who's the doctor that specializes in reading these exams, will use those old exams and compare the new exams and see if there have been any changes. We are looking for things that are small as a grain of rice. So in mammography, we can really detect something that's very, very small.
I see.
So women that aren't using annual mammography could have a chance of having a tumor that's the size of a quarter instead of a grain of rice.
I see.
So catching it much smaller gives you an opportunity to survive.
Very good. You just answered my question. How often should they have a mammography?
So women should have a mammogram at age 40 every year screening.
Every year.
If they notice a change, they should go into their doctor and ask to have an exam again. They can start out with their primary care physician or their OBGYN and go in and talk to them about the changes that they're noticing in their breasts.
Is breast cancer a fast-growing cancer typically?
It depends. There are different types of breast cancer, just like every other cancer in the body, there are different types of breast cancer. So some of them that are hormone-driven can be a little bit more aggressive.
I see.
And it just depends. So we don't really know what kind of breast cancer you have until we take a sample out through a biopsy process. And then that biopsy goes to the pathologist, and the pathologist looks at the results, and then they're able to determine what type of breast cancer you have. And then from there, an oncologist will determine the type of treatment that you should have.
Talk about your experience a little bit.
Sure.
Obviously, it's not the doom and gloom it used to be when a woman
Right.
Was diagnosed.
Right.
And talk about your own experience when you got your diagnosis and how
Okay.
you felt and what you did.
So one of the reasons I started doing mammography is because I have a family history of breast cancer.
Yeah, and that's
So,
another question.
yes.
It's genetic, too.
Is this, for me, I was tested for the BRCA gene, and
Oh,
everyone's heard about Angelina Jolie, and she's
Right.
got this BRCA gene. So I don't have the BRCA gene. I don't have BRCA1 or BRCA2.
I see.
But I have a predisposition in my family genetically where several members have gotten breast cancer. The first member was my grandmother, and she got it when she was in her 50s, and it was during the 1970s. And the only treatments available during that time were really a total mastectomy.
Yeah.
And then also she received the chemotherapy. She did not go through radiation therapy.
I see.
Yes. So as time has gone on, different treatments have been offered. They're able to do more breast-sparing types of surgeries, and they're able to determine what's the best course of action for women. They've gathered lots and lots of statistics, and they're able to use those to determine what would work best.
Well, that's great.
Yes.
That is really great. Saving a lot of lives.
Yes, absolutely.
Talk from a professional standpoint. ASRT deals with the professionals in this business. They take great pride in that, I would imagine,
Yes.
in the enhanced technology and saving more lives.
Absolutely. We really feel fortunate that we are able to work with technology that is this advanced and provide this type of imaging service to patients. We feel like this is a great service to the community at large, and we're very proud of our mammographers and our radiologic technologists that are our members.
Now, the people that are members of your organization, is there some kind of professional certification that goes with this?
There is through the American Registry of Radiologic Technologists. There's also different types of state certifications. Here in New Mexico, we do have state laws pertaining to who needs to be registered or certified to be able to perform exams. Some states don't have laws.
I see.
So we've been working towards some different approaches to state legislation and advocacy.
Are people in this field, are there an adequate number of people staffing medical facilities, or are you having a shortage of trained professionals? Where's things stand
Yeah,
right now?
right now we're doing well with as far as being able to fill positions. So we do have lots and lots of schools that are around. They're producing students as well, and we're looking towards the future as lots of people retire. The baby boomers will retire, and so we'll have this new population of students that will come in and fill those positions.
Oh,
so
good.
right now things are looking really good.
Good. both from a professional standpoint and a health standpoint.
Absolutely.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Where are you guys located in town?
We're located off of Tramway and Central. So if you've ever, it's the road that is Tramway and turns into State Road 333.
Sure.
So you can see it right off of I-40
Yeah,
as
it's a
you're going through the
beautiful new
canyon.
building,
It's
yeah.
a gorgeous building. It's just absolutely beautiful. Come out and see us. We'd love to see anyone that wants to come out
Yeah.
and have a tour. It's a really gorgeous building. We're very, very fortunate to have it here in Albuquerque.
Well, I wish you the best in Breast
Thank
Cancer
you.
Awareness Month. Dana, thank you very much for sharing your
you.
story and giving us the professional side of this too.
Thank you.
Great to meet you.
Great to meet
Thank
you.
you. Dana Aragon with the ASRT headquarters here in Albuquerque. We'll be back with more on the Morning Brew in just a second. Stay with us.